Everyone. My name is Felicita Monteblanco. I am the Public Affairs Manager at Northwest Health Foundation, and I use she, her pronouns. We are excited to incorporate more video into our storytelling, especially considering that we have such enthusiastic and dynamic leaders serving the Pacific Northwest. Um, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. In 2019, Northwest Health Foundation gave its largest grant ever to 6 organizations working to build an affordable childcare system in Oregon. The coalition is called the Oregon Child Care Project. And today we have 2 of the group's dynamic leaders, including Reina Lopez of Pacun and Joy Elise Davis of Imagine Black. Brilliant leaders. Will you introduce yourself, your role within the organization, and your pronouns as well? Joy, we'll start with you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. My name is Joy Elise Davis. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the executive director of Imagine Black, formerly known as PULF Action Fund. Really excited to be here. I'll just say quickly, our mission is to help the Black community just imagine the alternatives that we deserve and build our political participation and leadership to achieve those.
Hey everybody, I'm Reina Lopez. I'm the executive director at Pacun. We're Oregon's farm worker union. We represent farm workers and Latinx working families, and our mission is really to make our voice heard, be empowered through community building and organizing, increasing our representation in elections, and also changing systems at the state and the national level. So here representing the Latinx community, and really excited to get to share with you what we've been creating and doing for the last few months around the Oregon Child Care Project.
Thank you, ladies. Just so thrilled to have some of your time. So Joy, tell me a little bit about the goals of the Oregon Child Care Project and why these 6 organizations.
Yeah, sure. So we're a coalition of 6 progressive, we focused on race, gender issues, and we're all C4 organizations. And we really came together to build a comprehensive childcare system in Oregon. So I want to just name and uplift some of these great orgs. So we have APANO, Asian Pacific American Network of Oregon. We have Family Forward Action. We have Oregon Futures Lab, Pacun, of course, who's here, Imagine Black, myself, and then the Oregon, Unite Oregon Action. So it's really exciting that we've all come together and formed this collective and has been doing work. Oh gosh, it feels like it's been, Rain, I'm like, it's been like 2 years, it seems like, in the terms of our planning and implementation. And we collectively came together because we truly believe that every Oregon family deserves access to high quality, affordable, and culturally relevant childcare. And that every child provider should be paid a wage that really reflects the essential work that they do. We don't think that that burden should be fallen upon parents and providers. And we don't think that they should fit the bill for just an inadequate system. So our vision is big, but it's very achievable, and it's exciting to push forward with just such great organizations. Our collective vision is a targeted universal childcare system that centers the needs of Black, Indigenous, and people of color mothers, providers, and children.
I can't think of any better 6 organizations to lead this group. So Reina, what has COVID-19 highlighted about childcare in Oregon?
Such a big question, and like everything, it's just highlighted all of the gaps in our society, right? COVID has hit BIPOC communities the hardest, and when we talk about childcare, that is a theme that is ongoing and has been seen from everything from farm workers who are out there every single day, making sure that Americans, Oregonians are fed, everything from farm workers to office workers who now have literally made their homes their work, and that changed everything for them too. I think that as we've been thinking about what the system could be, we know that Oregon, it's been past time, but more than ever, Oregon needs to take immediate action on COVID-19 through the child care crisis. The state should support families of all types with high quality, affordable child care so that parents and caregivers can return to work and also do other essential responsibilities. The state really needs to prioritize the most impacted first, because we know that when we prioritize the people closest to the issues, they have a different perspective. They have they're experiencing the gaps, right, firsthand. And we believe that those folks are BIPOC communities and low-income families. And the state should support low and middle income parents to work less during this crisis so that they can manage increased childcare responsibilities, as well as increasing resources and support available for childcare facilities and providers that are currently closed so that they can actually reopen. And we're also looking to support providers who can continue to operate through the crisis with the increased costs, focusing on the most marginalized families throughout the state. I think that COVID-19 just has made it clear that the economy can only function when a reliable childcare system is available. And it's also really clear to us that this system has failed us. It's failed at building an adequate system that can not only ensure that that BIPOC mothers, BIPOC children, and BIPOC caregivers are taken care of throughout the crisis, but we've also seen what kind of effects it has economically on our communities, especially when we're talking about providers and facility owners who are losing a lot of their money, basically, because there's not money coming in through the closures. And we're seeing this theme really reverberating, not just in Oregon, but all across the country, that we're really struggling to make sure that these very needed sectors of work and community members are able to serve our communities throughout the pandemic. I mean, I think that with the work of the Oregon Child Care Project, we've also been able to see that some of the hardest hit people are about 350,000 Oregonians. 17% of those are people that are in the labor force who do not work in occupations that allow them to work from home. And we just cannot reopen our economy without addressing these issues for parents, for providers who have very immediate needs. Without immediate investments in childcare infrastructures, this crisis is really profound, and it has had such a profound impact financially on our most invisible people in our communities, and it's disproportionately hitting our Black and Indigenous women of color who make up the childcare workforce, and low-income and families of color who struggle to access quality care that they need.
I love that you talk about it as infrastructure, because it's just as critical as any other type of infrastructure. And so it allows our community to flourish, every member's. So thank you, Rena. Joy, there is no quick fix to address childcare concerns in our state. Can you share a bit about what you have focused on for the last year and goals going into 2021?
Yeah, you're definitely, I agree. There's no quick fixes to this work. And bear with me, I'm a talker, so I'm gonna talk a little bit, but I've been reflecting a lot the last few days on just such a great video that my org, actually we got this video from Northwest Health Foundation and has been like using it as political education internally. But I got this question, I really thought about Manuel Pastor's like top 10 elements for movement building. And I think what we've done really good within, I think excellent within this project is that we've been hitting all these elements and we have a really great understanding of them. But the two that like jump in my mind first is, the first is, I think it's number 3. It's this commitment to the long haul. And you really have to, when you do movement building work and you're trying to change systems, is to plan to do this work for a very long time, to plan for that long struggle, to plan for the multiple campaigns and to build that infrastructure that's needed. And I think what was really exciting about this group that we formed is that some of us have been working on this topic for a very long time. Some of us, like Imagine Black, we were new to this space, and it was really excited to make that commitment to the long haul. So some of the things that I'm thinking about is that we established this really strong new coalition to do that work, to do the long haul. It's a 501c3, C4. We have labor at the table, and we come together and we're looking at state and federal policy work. We're trying to build just a broad frame and a long-term vision for what this public system will look like. So building that like deep infrastructure is super important. Another thing from that Manuel's list that I know we've been doing really well, that I think really is the bulk of the work that we've been doing, is we have a really great understanding of the theory of government and governance. We understand that to move this vision forward, we're going to take some real strategy, and we're going to need to have some great folks who are in the governance space, elected officials, as well as some great folks in coalition and on the ground. So while we've been connecting with our bases and educating them about the importance of this work, and that was something that was, I would say, very dear to my heart, being a person in the space that I don't have any children, and when I talk to other folks who don't have children, and having to have this conversation about why this system is so important to all of us, and it's not just something that parents or caregivers should care about, it's something that we all will benefit, and there's so amazing impacts that will come from it. But so there's that, like the government side of advocating and building that coalition infrastructure, but the governance, that's, I think, the side that has been so exciting to work in coalition with all these great orgs. And especially for a new C4 like us, it was exciting to have some heavy hitters here who've been doing this work for a very long time, as we really supported some amazing candidates. Like we've come together and we supported some now candidates, as well as some folks who we're really proud that got elected, that we know will fight for this infrastructure, this care infrastructure. And I think sometimes folks, when they think about childcare, they think about it being very transactional. But when we talk as a group and we are building our understanding, we talk about this transformative space where we're thinking about wholeness, and we're thinking about care in a way that is very much connected to our culture and our race and the things that we value. So it was been really exciting to have to support some great candidates and to who we know are going to help build that infrastructure in Oregon. It's been really excited that we know folks who are going to, fight for this universal childcare, and understand that this is a critical need that we can't continue to put to the side and to have other folks kind of take on that burden. So I think by electing, folks, BIPOC mothers, by caregivers, by electing these great folks who care about this issue, they're who's going to just prioritize the needs of families. Like, we're ensuring that this is that this governance infrastructure is really going to be thinking very critically about childcare as they do their work. So I'm just really excited about the folks that we were able to support with kind of the support we got from Northwest Health Foundation and all those great partners in terms of getting them elected, helping them with mailers, and individual orgs did phone banking. And it was a really exciting opportunity. And we also connected our base to this work. And I think one of the things I'm very excited about is that, we're winning, and winning is important. And building that momentum is something that I think is going to be so important for the long run, is to build those milestones so that we can sustain this work, but also have the energy to continue to do it. So I'm rambling a lot now, but I'm very excited about what we did. I don't know if Raina has anything else to add to what I was sharing, but yeah, very excited.
I mean, I'll just echo, but also I think that one of the biggest things that makes me so excited about this work, especially through these movement candidates, is that we're building power for our communities. Historically, not only have we not been prioritized in these childcare policies, not only have we not been prioritized in important labor conversations and in other spaces, but we also have seen what kind of effects that has in the voice that we have in terms of power and political power, governing power, all the powers, right? So I think that this is also not only an opportunity for us to really, really highlight and shine a light, I guess, on BIPOC leaders, mamas out there that are really showing up in the most amazing ways, but also that's motivating our communities to show up at the ballot. And for me, that can have so many ripple effects on not only the way that we're putting forward our leaders, but it translates into policy, it translates into accountability for the people who are representing us in the legislature, at the city council level, at the county commissions. And that is a vital piece of us being able to come in and also say, okay, we elected y'all. Now it's time to also deliver on the promises that were made. And we're going to be here every step of the way. We're not going to let you off the hook once you win, right? The community is there and we're watching, and we're invested in it because you're one of us.
You know, on a personal note, nothing gets me more excited than watching moms get elected to office and seeing how the conversations change at those policy tables around childcare, around caring for the community. And we know that when we put people in those positions, when we support people in those positions, especially mamas, like the conversations change and the communities are even stronger for it. So thank you, my goodness, for all the amazing work that you do. And I love that you talked about, Joy, how you touched upon the fact that this isn't an issue that just impacts people who have children. The childless folks need to be paying attention to this issue too. You know, I can speak personally to I can see very clearly a line connected to the privileges and things that I've had access to as a direct result of my parents having quality, safe, warm childcare because of my grandmother. And they were able to work extra hours and put a down payment on a house, which means our family was stable. And so it is just profound privilege that I can tie back to having access to wonderful childcare by my grandmother. And I want everyone to have wonderful care like that. So my goodness, thank you for the wonderful work that you do. Raina, both of your organizations engaged in Preschool for All in Multnomah County. Can you tell me a little bit how preschool and childcare are interconnected?
It's very much interconnected. I think that historically, one important thing to know is that our coalitions that we've been able to build here in Oregon are really, I like to say they're gold. They are the things that have allowed us to make long-term change. And these campaigns and these kinds of coalitions that are built, they're key to building that long-term change. It really matters also who's leading in these spaces. It's a big deal that Latino Network was such a central part of this, a very important partner organization for us. And also that we continue to build power for the people at the center of this. For those who don't know Preschool for All, basically it would give 3- and 4-year-olds in Multnomah County access to free, high quality, developmentally appropriate, culturally responsive preschool experiences. That's something that a lot of us didn't have growing up. I would say most of us didn't have that growing up, right? The program's slated to grow over time, and it's going to increase the number of children and families that it serves every single year. Families are going to be able to apply for slots in early 2022 for preschoolers who are going to start jumping into their preschool experience in September of 2022. And all families in Multnomah County are going to be eligible to apply, and families who currently have the least access to high quality preschool will be prioritized, which is amazing. These are very interconnected for us because it also centers BIPOC children's needs, BIPOC mothers and caregivers. And for BIPOC mothers, it means peace of mind for their children, that their children are being treated with dignity and respect when they're having their first preschool experience, and that they're able to also do what they need to do to make sure that they can care for themselves and for their families. And for caregivers, it means valuing them and making their work visible. And we know that a lot of times the work of caregivers and mothers has been invisible work, invisible labor, unpaid labor, or low paid labor. These conversations were brought to the forefront. And for children, it really means being loved and cared for and respected for who they are, and building that public demand and educating folks about the need and how that will continue to foster something that really centers collective community care of our families. And that really centers an experience that's for us and by us. And we're going to continue to build off of that infrastructure. That's why it was so important that OCP was at the table and that we were supporting it loud and proud and being the biggest cheerleader for Preschool for All. And we're really excited to see what those big lessons are learned, because it's really important that that's also integrated into how we move forward, always seeing it as a learning moment and continuing to center the stories and the experiences of our communities.
it was exciting to see that measure pass and enthusiastically supported by the community. And I'm so excited for those families that are going to get to utilize those critical services. So last question, Joy, as people learn about this wonderful work that's happening, how can they get connected, share their own story, and lend their support?
Yeah, I'm going to plug in some things. Go to our website, childcarefororegon.org. You're going to be able to learn more about the campaign, be updated, also get connected to all these amazing organizations. If you're like, oh, how do I find Pukoon? There's links in there. We also have a great Facebook page, just the Oregon Child Care Project. You can search it and find us. There's also opportunities on our website, I'll say, for storytelling. So you can either do that written if you would like, or if you want to do some video, we have some options for you. So this is really exciting. I'm a comms person, so I'm very excited that we're going to be able to dive deep with some amazing folks in the upcoming year.
Well, thank you, ladies, for all that you do, for your time and the expertise that you shared with me, and for the fans of Northwest Health Foundation who are going to learn more about the work. So thank you. The Northwest Health Foundation plans to continue doing some video and storytelling this way to really highlight the work of our grantees. So stay tuned, and thank you so much.